Hey, I'm Kayman,
And I'm Kinsell.
and
And
we
we're going
gonna
to tell you about some bad breakfast
no.
experiences.
Okay, so this morning man, like a couple minutes ago, we went to IHOP,
Right?
and so we were over here like eating our okay, so we walk in there, and first thing you know, we sit down, and Roberto or whatever his name was, Luis or
Rubbish.
something, he was our server. So then he's all like, "Oh, like can I get you guys some drinks?" And we were like,
Nah.
no, we'll just
Nah.
take waters." And then he was like, "Okay." Then he walks away. We're clearly ready to order, but he's just like, "Okay, let me just walk away." And then so he comes back like 5 minutes later, like, "Oh, okay, here's your water, no straws." And then so he's like,
I
"Oh,
mean, but let me just intersect that point. Now, water without straws is just
it's
unsanitary. Those
nasty.
cups,
It is
you never know where those cups
nasty.
have been. That's
Just
just
straight
not
up
sanitary.
nasty."
I mean, come on,
But
Roberto.
then so Roberto comes back and he's like, "Okay, let me take your order." So then they're like, "Okay, I'll have this, and that." And then so he takes our order. And first thing I was like, "Okay, so can I substitute my eggs for extra hash browns? Because I don't do IHOP eggs or any restaurant eggs." So I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, I don't know. Like
I don't know if we do
I don't know if we
that.
do that here. And I'm like, "I get this every time, sir. Like you're clearly new." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll ask a manager." And then so then he's just gonna go off and be all like,
He was
I'm trying to
extra
be
dazed and
professional.
confused
And
though.
I asked specifically for my potatoes to be extra crispy.
He didn't even write it down.
And
To be
then
honest, he didn't even write it down.
and then we were about to ask for straws, and he just gonna walk away. So
So we
then,
sitting here with water cups, with some nasty, dirty water cups that a million people didn't use at IHOP, and no straws for about 20 minutes. And you know me, I have that chronic dehydration problem, right? So I'm sitting up here like, whoo, whoo, Roberto. Finally, the manager lady come through, and I'm like, can I get some straws, please? And she's like, oh sure. And she hooks us up. Finally, I was
okay,
able to
no,
soothe the
not
thirst.
even then yet.
Not
But
even yet. Not
she
even
was
yet.
so Roberto's gonna bring us our food. First thing you know, he's putting down the food like, "Oh, here's your omelet, here's your pancakes, here's your this and that." And I'm like, "Is this even our food?" Like he put it all in the wrong spots, all over the place. Like, and then so we had to switch up our food, and we're like, "Okay, can we get some straws?" And he's like, "Oh, sure." Like, and then so then we're sitting here. I look down my potatoes. They're like white as night. Like it was just not even funny. Like I was just
They were not even
like
close.
I said extra crispy, and he's over here just crusty potatoes over here, and it was bad. And then so we eventually got our straws and stuff, and then we had to ask for some hot sauce.
With the hot sauce, see, I had an omelet, and I need my hot sauce to make the omelet taste
Mm.
proper on the outside. The inside is always delicious, but the outside needs a little sauce to add a little kick to it, a little tinge. So on the table, it's supposed to come with syrup of 4 different varieties, hot sauce, and ketchup. 2 types of hot sauce. I shouldn't have to request to get real hot sauce. First of all, only type of hot sauce they be on the table is Tabasco.
That
I
is
don't want
not real.
Tabasco.
That is
I
not
want real
real.
hot sauce. I want real hot sauce. Tabasco, no, that's a no-no. I had to ask for some real hot sauce. It was not coming proper on the table. That's a shame, Roberto. You know it was your table, your section. It was your fault.
Okay, sir. And
Anyways,
so Roberto didn't even bring. So I was like, Roberto, my meal. I ordered the 3 eggs and pancakes. Where are my pancakes? And okay, I'll get you some pancakes soon. So we're sitting there just waiting for my pancakes.
just chilling.
5 minutes,
And
10 minutes.
and let's point out at this time we had no silverware. So
Yeah.
the rest we couldn't even eat. Period. Like we're just sitting there with our food just sitting there, just getting cold on the table, just getting cold. We can't even eat.
So then the manager eventually comes and she's like, what do you guys need? And we're like, we need some pancakes, some silverware, all this and that. And then so she brings it because she's a good manager. And we're just like, okay. Then we eat our food. Then Roberto comes over at the end trying to get a tip, like, oh,
He's like,
hey.
how'd you like the cheesy Western omelet? I'm like, the cheesy Western omelet was pretty good. No thanks to you.
And he's just like, that's great, that's great. And I was like, okay, Roberto.
Came and saw right through him. He saw right through him.
And then so Roberto, he wants to get his tip on. I'm like, no, like that ain't about to happen.
So see, as you know, times are hard, right? So we come to IHOP with $30 for lunch. That's all we got. $30. and the bill said $29.39, and we were like, we had enough. We were like, yeah, we made it. Praise Jesus, preach. We made it. Then we like, oh wait, we're supposed to tip, but then we realized, wait a minute,
the service was terrible.
What does Roberto
He ain't getting
done
a
to
tip.
deserve a tip? He ain't done nothing to deserve a tip. So I graciously, and I mean graciously, like I shouldn't have done it, but graciously pull $1 out of my wallet. I got $1, and we get the change, was about 60 cents, 61 cents. I got $1. We gave him $1.61 in tip, and then I was like, I feel kind of guilty about that. So I was like, oh, we better get out here quick. So I make a beeline for the door, and the others, these two, my brother and sister, just walking slow, right? And then Roberto turns at the last second. Roberto turns, and he's like, oh, thank you guys for coming in. And he gives us that nice smile and everything. And then that makes me feel bad for not leaving him a tip.
No,
but then
no
again,
need to feel bad. Here's a tip for you, Roberto. If you're watching this, here's a tip. Work on your service. You need some help. Okay? Just want to let y'all know. Thank you.